Before Rosa Parks, there was a 15-year-old girl, not a seasoned activist, not a public figure, and definitely not someone history decided was ready. Just a teenager coming home from school who said no. Her name was Claudette Colvin, and for decades, history barely whispered it. Welcome back to Lex on the Record. I'm your host, Lex, and here we talk about the stories history didn't highlight and the names that didn't make it into the textbooks, but who changed the world without ever being celebrated for it. Today's story is quiet, it's heavy, and honestly, it's heartbreaking because this isn't just about what Claudette Colvin did. It's about why the world decided she wasn't the right face for justice. So let's go ahead and set our scene. Let's go back to Montgomery, Alabama. The year is 1955. Jim Crow laws aren't just social norms, they're the law of the land. And buses are one of the most visible reminders of that. Black passengers sit in the back, white passengers sit in the front. And if a white person needs a seat, you move. No discussion, no debate. Now, imagine being 15 years old and you've just spent the day in school learning about the Constitution, about Harriet Tubman, and about Sojourner Truth. You're filled with this belief, this fire that what's written on paper actually means something. And then you get on the bus and reality reminds you otherwise. March 2nd, 1955, Claudette Colvin boards a city bus after school. She sits in the colored section. But when the bus begins to fill up, the driver demands that she and three other Black students give up their seats. The other three students got up quietly and moved to the back of the bus. They complied. Claudette does not. Later, she would say she felt like Harriet Tubman and Sojourner Truth were pressing down on her shoulders, like they were saying, stand your ground. Or, in this case, stay seated. The police are called. She's dragged off of the bus, handcuffed, taken to jail. She's terrified and crying. And she just keeps saying one thing. It's my constitutional right. 15 years old. She's alone and already being labeled a problem. Claudette is then charged with assault, disturbing the peace, and violating segregation laws. She's then convicted, and suddenly, instead of being protected, she's scrutinized. Civil rights leaders know that she's brave. They know what she did was right, but behind closed doors, they decide something painful and, in my opinion, disgusting. She's too young, too outspoken, too dark-skinned, and too poor. And later, when she becomes pregnant as a teenager, that becomes the final excuse. She isn't respectable enough. So history waits for someone else. 9 months later, Rosa Parks refuses to give up her seat. And while Rosa Parks is absolutely deserving of honor, here's the truth we don't say out loud enough. Rosa Parks wasn't chosen because Claudette was wrong. She was chosen because Claudette was inconvenient. This isn't about replacing one story with another. It's about telling the whole truth, the whole story, and making sure that those who deserve to be recognized are given their spotlight. Here's what history really owes Claudette Colvin for. She became one of the plaintiffs in Browder v. Gale, which is a federal case that challenged bus segregation itself. Not a boycott, not a protest, but the law. And in 1956, segregation on Montgomery buses was ruled unconstitutional. That victory didn't come from symbolism, it came from courage and paperwork and names that never became famous. Claudette Colvin didn't get a statue, she didn't get a holiday. She moved to New York, became a nurse's aide, and lived quietly. For years, she watched her moment get erased.
Stay bold, stay kind, till we meet again. This is our history, our power, our pain.